Buff Nation, what's going on? I apologize. Don't blame Rob. Blame me for why we're tardy. I just got yapping. That's my fault. But y'all let me know who's watching in on the chat. Hit that like. Let me know your feelings about tomorrow with what we got going on with recruiting, with what you're expecting, with all the coaching changes going on in college football. But I digress. Rob, it's so good to be back on the show with you again. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing better. I'm doing better. Sorry if my voice sounds a little hoarse, but I'm doing better for sure.
Hey, man. Well, yeah, you sound great to me. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. I know it's been a couple weeks since we connected, but the reason I love, talking to you, I say this every time, you hear things, you know things. You're really good at connecting the dots, reading the tea leaves on what's going on in the recruiting world and the coaching world. But hey, this is your season that's about to come up here from the end of the season through the extended signing day period. Let's just get your initial impressions right now. Overall, how are things going right now for the Buffs? And I would love to hear your thoughts on Winston Watkins and Talon Chandler right now too, since we've been talking about those boys a lot the past few days.
Well, I would say I'll start with Winston Watkins. I would say just stay patient, right? I always like to say stay patient, but Winston Watkins will be a Buff. He's just doing this, because of. Let me wheel this back in real quick.
Okay.
The reason why he decommitted was because other coaches that's trying to recruit Winston Watkins kept telling Winston Watkins Coach Prime wasn't going to be at CU. So that's the reason why all this speculation came out about Coach Prime is leaving, this and this and that and third. Is because they're using this as a recruiting tactic against CU right now, that Coach Prime won't be at Colorado. That's what this whole situation started about. So that's the reason why Winston Watkins decommitted, but he is still fully committed to CU. Even though he decommitted, that's still his number one school until proven otherwise.
Okay.
Tyson Chandler.
Talon Chandler, yeah.
Talon Chandler. I didn't mean to mess his name. Talon Chandler. It's about the 50-50 split. But it's leaning 60-40 towards Mizzou right now.
Yeah.
For him, but it also he could come back. So we're gonna see. Now with Chandler, he was a Coach O'Boyle recruit. Right. And so that plays in a part of why schools are coming at him, why he's just, publicly come out saying that he's got this offer, this and this and that, is because he does stay in the state of Missouri. I'm a Missouri boy too. So if you connect the dots,
that Cardinals hat on.
Something, But when you look at in the grand scheme of things, like who his lead recruiter was, who's been on him, who's went out and recruited him, that's the reason why. Now, with that being said, also, he's not going to the school where Coach O'Boyle is going to. So think about it. You can look at that in that school around. But Coach
O'Boyle be a new coach either way.
Yeah, it's going to be a new coach. Regardless of the fact, SCU, they're going to have a new offensive line coach next year. Yes. Now it comes to when does CU make the announcement of the new offensive line coach, and does he give him a phone call to try to recruit him back? It is a 50-50 split right now, with it leaning towards a 60-40.
Okay.
So,
hey, that makes sense. Things change quickly in the recruiting game, and especially, if your primary recruiter is going somewhere else. I mean, Mizzou, they got a lot going for them right now. But man, I'm pulling for us to make up some ground with whenever this new hire is announced. I don't know. In terms of like if you'll see like a scheme change or anything like that with coaching, but hopefully they'll want Talon Chandler still here. I mean, that guy's a dog. We need more dogs on the offensive line. Yeah.
He's definitely one of those recruits that you don't want to lose, right? Especially offensive linemen, because they're hard to come by. I do think that they have an opportunity to retain him. But it's gonna, they gotta put that same one of we want you still. Mizzou, they did get a visit from him last week. They did give him an offer last week, so they took some momentum from CU. He's been a lock to CU. He actually committed on my birthday, so it kind of
Talon, you can't spoil Rob's birthday now. Come on.
So it kind of but I do think they got a great opportunity to retain him. It's just a matter of the new offensive line coach, because these recruits know, like they know before the public knows everything about everything that's going on behind the scenes. Whether they come out publicly and say something, it's on them. But you can kind of start to tell where coaches are going, where they're leaning to, just by the lead recruiter. If something happens to the lead recruiter, most of the time those players flip. So that's what you're seeing a lot of lately. Think about it. On the average, each and every year, there's 400 decommitments that change commitments to that same season before they sign. So right now, we're roughly like 100 kids. So that means there's a possibility of 300 more decommitments coming to a national signing day or to early signing period. So with that being said, there's a lot of moving pieces, because there's still a lot of coaches that's going to change. That a lot of people don't understand that, these next 2 weeks or the last 2 weeks where some of these coaches won't be at the school they're at right now. And so some of these recruits already know that. So that's why you're starting to see, schools offering different kids or kids that's committed to different schools, because the person that's their lead recruiter will no longer be at their school in 2 weeks, if not this weekend.
Man, there's going to be a lot of moving parts coming up here soon. But, in regards to all this, Rob, this is something that this might be a dumb question, but hopefully you can break it down for me a little bit. We hear often, you've talked about it. Other recruiting channels and media talk about this stuff all the time. But DNVR has hinted at these things as well about just wait, because we got silent commits. I'm wondering if you can break this down for me. Why would somebody commit silently rather than committing publicly?
Well, so when you talk about silent commits, majority of the time, why players silent commit is just to hold a roster spot. Basically, is what you're doing, right? You know where you're going. You want to hold your roster spot because of the way the age is now. Coaches, you have to move and commit faster. You don't have all day to sit on commitments, right? Because of the transfer portal. Okay, you don't want to commit. I can just get somebody to transfer portal. Well, now players will be like, hey, I'm a solid commit, but I still want to go take these visits to make sure that I made the right decision. So I use this example, right? Charles Lester, right? Before he came to Colorado, he already started committed to Florida State. They already had a film breakdown of him saying, Coach, I'm coming, I'm committed, this and this and that. So when he publicly came out with it and Florida State drops it, everybody's blown away. Even though he came to Colorado, majority of the time, the colleges that he started to commit to, they know before some of these recruits come on campus, but they feel like if that recruit comes on campus, we can get him to change his mind. So sometimes it's just to hold a scholarship offer, right? Depending on if you get that full ride, some people are going to, hey, Coach, I'm starting committing. The reason why they don't come out publicly with it is something ever happens to that coach for some odd reason, whether there's a tragedy, whether there's, he leaves, goes to a different school, whether he gets promoted or elevated to another position. Well, you can't get negative on a kid because he never publicly came out and said that he committed to that school. And now he got every right to leave, and you can't downfall him or his family for leaving. Because once you make it publicly, there's a lot of things that come with that. Now you're looking at anybody attacking you because you came out publicly and said something, then you went back on your commitment and then committed somewhere else. So a lot of kids, what they do is solidly commit. So if they do have a change of heart, well, then now you can't come after me in the public eyes because nothing was publicly known unless you had inside information.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now on the coach's side or the program side, This is one thing that I'm wondering, kind of with these silent commits, is there ever like a day or like a deadline or anything like that of like, because we do have the transfer portal, because we do have things moving so quickly where they're like, hey, that's fine, but like we need a public commitment by this so-and-so date. Does that ever happen?
Yeah, so I'll give you another example. All right, but I'm gonna go on the basketball side. So
Okay.
I don't know who watches basketball, but if you ever watch how basketball recruits is laid out, players will be solid commit because they tell them to not publicly come out because they want to get all their players in a cycle. Like, boom, I want this person to commit this week. I want this person to commit next week. I want this person to commit the next week. So now it looks like they on fire, and now you're bringing light to your program.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times when a player commit publicly, it's all played out. It's all layered out. Everything is laid out to a T. So that's why when you see articles come out after a player commits, because it's been written for two or 3 days or a couple weeks that they knew, because the coaches are asking them, this is when they want them to come out publicly. All the players know when they're going to commit. And so the story's already being written. So it's just a lot behind the scenes stuff. But the reason why, when it comes to like the public eyes of it, and when you know about it and stories are already being written, like there's no way you could have read a story after a player committed 1 minute later without you knowing what was going on. It's just no way.
Yes. The thumbnails are already made. The videos are already ready to go live. Like, yeah. And I think one thing that I'm looking back towards is like, man, that Antoine Hill commitment was timed really well to give us a lot to talk about during that bye week, right?
Yeah, I mean, I knew ahead of time, and I couldn't say nothing. I mean, I couldn't say nothing, but I dropped the thumbnail, but
that's why you go in there and get on that Discord now.
Yeah, I dropped the thumbnail and was like, "It's something finna happen." But if you thought CU wasn't gonna be in the news during the bye week, you're crazy. Like I tell people, it's like, man, something gonna happen during the bye week. It's just a matter of you don't know what's gonna happen, but something's gonna happen. They're gonna be in the spotlight, whether you want to or not.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, regarding this class, Rob, what are you kind of expecting right now, or do you have an expectation in terms of the ratio of high school players we'll see versus transfers? Is there a certain kind of like what I've been expecting or just speculating is maybe we'll see like 15 to 17 high school players in this class? Am I off? Am I wrong? What do you think?
No, you're right. You're about spot on. So right now, currently from the high school rank, we have 9 commitments. CU is going to be expecting to have between 18 to 20 players out of the high school ranks. That's what they're projecting. With that being said, there's going to be some players that's going to flip on signing day that you're not thinking about, that nobody has linked them to them, nobody said nothing about them. It's just going to come out, right? It's kind of like how the Cormani McClain situation happened, right? Nobody was talking about it, nobody knew, and just boom, National Signing Day. Then that's when the word came out that he's thinking about Colorado. So one thing about Prime is always working in the dark. Y'all don't know exactly who he's attacking. Even, you're just going to find out on signing day. Now, there are some kids that I do know about that they're after right now that you don't publicly know that they have an offer. And that's most of the time how you get these kids. And the reason why CU is not publicly really trying to be linked to players is because of the way people are trying to blackball CU right now in the public eyes. And so that's why you see all these stories being written about Coach Prime leaving, is because this is the one tactic that a school is trying to use against Coach Prime. Well, now that the recruits know that they're lying, now that's opening up another door.
Yeah.
So everybody's trying to find a way of how to recruit against Coach Prime, because they see what's about to happen. They see that a couple 5-stars are about to commit to Coach Prime, and it's going to happen. I'm telling you this right now. They're going to get 2 to 3 5-star players by signing day. I can't say who those players are, but they are going to get them. But people are trying to use every tactic they can against CU right now to get those players not to come.
Yeah, and I know this is a slight digression, but what the heck, Stephen A. Smith? You're coming out to Boulder, you're having a good time, And then you're putting out the news for Texas A&M. Come on, man. I know they got that oil money, but
it doesn't make sense though. It makes no sense.
No.
It's like it's like, why would you want Coach Prime to go to Texas A&M? I get it, right? That you talk about the oil money, but what else does they offer that's going to help Coach Prime that he doesn't have right now? They don't. And then, and so people don't even think about that. And my number one question when people say things like that, are you willing to give Coach Prime all the leverage and all the power to run that university? If the answer is not yes, then you can call Coach Prime out. Because Coach Prime ain't going nowhere if he don't got the power and the leverage to run his program how he want, and the boosters are not running the program. Let's be real. The South programs are ran by boosters. That's what it is, right? And so when you look at Colorado, there are some boosters not giving money to Colorado because they hate the fact that Coach Prime got hired. Let's just call it what it is. I hate to say it, but that's what it is. And so there are people trying to bet against Coach Prime for players not to come to Coach Prime. And what happens? These kids go there for a year, and guess what happens? They go into the transfer portal, and guess what happens? Right back to Prime. So it's going to happen. All you doing is stopping for 1 year. And then what happens? They're going to come to Coach Prime anyway.
That's right. Now
you literally just pay the kid to sit on the bench to disrupt the team that you got just because you don't want Coach Prime to have the kid, and then they end up coming to Coach Prime anyway because they're gonna see through all the BS after sitting there for a year that they just wasted a whole year listening to you and these recruits talk. They talk to each other. Like, I don't understand why people don't think that. The recruits, the players, the family, they all talk to each other. So somebody gonna tell it.
No doubt. If we're talking on YouTube, we're talking on Twitter, you better believe like all these people are talking for real. Now, I'm guessing like with the transfer portal, what's your kind of read on our strategy right now? Do you think that we're going to be kind of still like kind of going into this year, every position's on the table? We're looking at everything, or are we just going to be targeting kind of a few different positions?
Anytime you go to the transfer portal, you're always going to target every position. Every position coach knows what they need, whether that's 1, 2, 3, 4, how many. Offensive line, defensive line is going to be heavily attacked, whatever they can't get out of the high school ranks. You need the high school ranks for development, right? But you also need veteran guys that can come in and contribute right away.
Yeah.
So with us losing, 5, 6 guys off the offensive line, the defensive line, you're going to target, some people off the defensive line.
Yeah.
The linebacker position, they're gonna go into transfer portal for that. Good. DBs, you're probably gonna see 3 at the most. Running backs, don't be surprised if you don't see 1 or none come out the running backs. Wide receivers, they're probably gonna get 2 or 3. But it's not as big of a need like it was last year, right? You didn't have to go recruit everybody of everybody. This year, now you get to sit back. You really get to pick, all right, this is what we know we need. Who's the best of the best out of that group? And how can we get those kids here on a visit? Now, here's what comes with it. You got to be able to manage the kids that you have coming in. This is the problem why you see a lot of these big-time coaches getting fired right now. They get the talent. They're 4 and 5 stars, and they cannot manage it.
Yeah.
That's the number one issue with Jimbo. He always had the number 1 recruiting class, number 2, number 3 recruiting class, and guess what? You can't manage it. Because you know why you can't manage it? Because you don't want to manage it. You're talking about 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, and a lot of the things that people don't talk about is Jimbo had a lot of players suspended that's 4 and 5 stars. Kicked off the team, suspended. And people don't talk about it.
Culture issue, no doubt.
And it's because you can't control them. Because you know why you can't control them? He did not have personnel players in place. It was just boosters throwing money, telling you who you going to play, who you're not going to play.
Yeah.
They're not telling you, these kids in the club doing this, doing that, fighting, doing all this extra stuff, and, getting caught doing this, doing that. They're not telling you about that, right? And they sweep all that stuff under the rug. But if it was at Coach Prime, It's public. Hey, we got to talk about it. We got to blow it up. That's a theory topic. But it happens at every school. And so that's what I'm saying. With Coach Prime, how do you manage when you get these 4- and 5-star players? Because that's what it's going to come down to. Because there's going to be something that comes with it. There's going to be some type of baggage that comes with the 4- and 5-star players. There just is.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. You're right. And hopefully, Steven brought up this good point here, when the new Prime Amazon show, airs next month, hopefully that will also be a great recruiting tool to just show, again, that, the standard is the standard, and kind of how they handled, making sure Cormani was up to speed, doing certain things, meeting certain expectations, rather than just what you might see at a school like Texas A&M or something like that, where a guy playing because he's paid a certain amount of money, you have a certain backing behind that player. Hopefully, what I'm hoping for, like Steven's saying, that the culture really stands out with Coach Prime on this show.
And I'm going to piggyback off of that. Why is this show coming out in December?
Hey, man, we got signing day about 2 weeks after that, right?
I'm just saying. This is a businessman. Prime's a businessman. Why would you air the show in December?
Then you get all the answers.
For all the people that's been lying to you all season, now you get to watch it. What's really going on that you didn't see from well off, or you didn't see from this, or you didn't see from that. Now you get those answers. And guess what? The portal is open, and early signing day is on the 20th. And it's right smack down in the middle of both of them. So you tell me it's marketing yes. 101, business 101. So just saying.
I love it, man. I love it. Again, this is going to be your time, man, for like the next month or two, man. There's going to be a lot to talk about, a lot of exciting news. I did want to hit on this too, in terms of like numbers. Again, every college football program has this, and we would be crazy to expect that this wouldn't happen. Is there kind of like a certain amount of guys or whatever that you would expect to transfer out from this team after the season concludes?
The guys who's going to transfer out, they already know who they are. It's already been kind of set in stone who those players are going to be, to be honest with you. 30 to 40% new players. I mean, that's just
that's what I'm expecting. Yeah.
That's the average though. That's every team. Every team is going to be 30 to 40%. Now what's going to be interesting is how do they utilize the scholarships, right? Because before we even go into the portal, we already had 10 scholarships open, right? Mm-hmm. That's not including like the graduate transfers who just played their last game at home, right? That's leaving. That's not talking about anybody that's going to transfer out, or any freshmen that didn't like what they seen or wanted to a different opportunity a different way. That's not including none of that. So you're already starting with 10 in a hole, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, they're gonna bring 18 to 20 freshmen in. So mm-hmm. that right there, 18 to 20. Just say we take 18. You got 10 open. That's 28 players right there, right? And then you look at the people that's leaving. So I expect roughly around like between 40, 45 players. Anywhere between 35 to 45 players.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Now, as ASAP is bringing up, this
now,
is
I would tell you. Do
you think Mikey gets a scholarship?
That's tough to say. I'm gonna say that's tough to say right now.
No.
Now, keep in mind now. There's 115 players at CU with 85 scholarships.
Yes.
So that's what I'm telling you. 30. You're taking 30 or 40% from 115. So don't take it from the 85. I'm telling you, it's gonna be 30, 40 players from 115 players. So
correct.
That's what I would say in that situation. But when it comes to Mikey Harris, the reason why I say I'm not sure just yet, because we got to see what Coach Brew does with the tight end room.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole new group pretty much.
That's what I'm saying, because Yes, Mikey Harrison is going to compete for that starting position, but it's not a guarantee that Mikey starts next year. Depending on what they get out of transfer portal, and will it be worth them giving him a scholarship? Now, Mike Harrison is going to be fine because they're going to get him an NIL deal. He has NIL merchandise, stuff like that. So he's been supported all the way around. So
If
he's
you
going
can get
to have,
Offerdahl on a commercial, we can get Harrison on a commercial,
yeah.
right?
So it's going to happen. It's just when it's going to happen. It's going to be the thing.
Yeah, J. Dot's saying it right here as well. That's right. Comp is his NIL. Absolutely. Yeah. Do you think we'll see some different, I guess this is all dependent on who they fill with OC, but in terms of like the profile of the tight end, what do you kind of envision right now of the type of athlete that they're going after in the portal?
For as tight end goes?
Yeah, sorry.
If I had to put my money on it right now, they're going to go after more athletic tight ends that can run and run block, but also catch passes down the middle of the seam. I do expect him to at least try to go get at least 2 6'5" and above tight ends. Just based upon who's supposed to be the OC. With that being said, he will use 12 personnel. So he will put 2 tight ends out there on the field at the same time. So
beautiful.
I'm just telling you, what I know. Now it could be different, but I do expect him to go get two good tight ends based upon who the new OC is going to be.
Oh, Grizz coming in here saying Mikey is a senior. I guess that's why he was on the he was walking for senior day. So I guess he would have to grad transfer then. So I don't know. I'm so confused. I forget how all this eligibility stuff goes, Rob. I apologize.
Well, I mean, he has a COVID year, so he could technically come back.
Oh, okay.
He does have a COVID year.
Good. I would love to see that.
Now, what I would say to you is if he doesn't come back, it's because they just clean out the tight end room. That's what I would tell you like that. But he does have an extra year eligibility from COVID. So whether he uses it or not, that's a whole different story.
Okay. Cool. Well, awesome, Rob. Again, thank you for your time. We'll wrap up here in a few minutes, but want to get your take on this Washington State matchup we have coming up. Thank God it's tomorrow. We don't got to wait till Saturday. How do you feel about this matchup, man?
Oh, man. What I would say to you this weekend, and this is what I've been saying on my show, take your emotions and take your feelings out of the game tomorrow.
That's impossible for me.
Listen, no matter what happens, Colorado wins in this situation. I'm telling you this right now. Colorado's going to win in this situation no matter what happens. Take your emotional and feelings out of this. I do predict, CU to win tomorrow, and them going to a bowl game this year. So I will say that. I do expect them to win this weekend. Washington State is coming off a 6-game losing streak, so I expect them to go out and take care of business. That's what I expect.
That's right.
Now, both teams are similar. Both teams are similar. Well, any way you want to slice it and dice it. It is a weird place to play at Washington State. I will say that weird things happen. I don't know why it does, but weird things happen in Washington State on Friday night games. But I do expect them to take care of business.
I love it, man. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to see maybe some new wrinkles that Pat Shermer has planned for this. We saw a few more wrinkles this past week. So, man, I'm excited. I feel like this win is, it's totally gettable. And this is one of these teams where I hope this isn't the case, but we don't need to play near perfect football to get the victory. Again, we both lost to Stanford. Anything can happen tomorrow night. I'm hoping the Buffs get to that 5 wins. That I think that puts us into bowl eligibility. There are some people that got very strong feelings about they don't want to see a 5-win Buffs team. I don't want the season in the end. I want to see this show continue on. So, I don't care.
Yeah. That's why this is so key, right? Because even the Bucks getting to five 5 wins. They can still make the bowl just due to the fact of, the teams that's not eligible to make the bowl, teams that opt out of the bowls with 6-win teams are, because you got to think about it, right? Think about like a UCLA team that's going to fire Chip Kelly. Do they want to go play in the bowl? Know that they got a new head coach? Or look at the, Arizona State, they're banned from a bowl. So there are ways for CU to get into a bowl. They do got to win 5 games, at least 5 games. But I do see them taking care of business, tomorrow, and I can see them definitely taking care of business at Utah. It's not out of the realm at all.
If we get that confidence from a win, anything is possible, like KG says. So, Rob, I appreciate your time, man. It's really good to connect again. Hopefully we can connect again very soon. And for anybody that's on my channel, please go follow Rob the Man Media. Love his show format. Just very community oriented. It's really cool. But for those who don't follow you yet, Rob, let us know. What do you got coming up on the channel to look forward to over the next week?
So I got a new show that's going to be coming soon on my channel. I can't disclose who it is and what it is, but I do got a new show coming on my channel. I'm here very soon. You guys going to like it. But, it's an everyday show, 7 days a week, provide CU content, recruiting news, coaching updates, anything like that, all that type of good stuff. But, hey, just look forward, man, and just, hey, let's get this victory and let's take care of business. That's all I got to say, man. And let's go Buffs.
Dude, SCO Buffs. Y'all be sure to hit the like on the way out. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments. We will see you all again very soon. And as always, everybody, SCO Buffs.